Let's record here. All right, everyone. Well, good morning. Um, I am so excited that you are all here. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. Um, Today is going to be very fast paced. So I am going to just get right into it. I'm going to really try to stick to 30 minutes. I know we're a little overdue, but I wanted to first introduce my title officer, Kyle Johnson. I know some of you have spoken to him, and it's always great to put a face with a name. So I thought I would introduce him if you don't know him. And thank you, Kyle, so much for joining. And is there anything going on in the title world over there that we need to be, I don't know, warned about?
Hey, good morning. Well, it's nice to see everybody. Yeah, nothing really comes to mind. Like you said prior to the start, you can definitely tell activities picking up. Our order count has gone up just in the last week or two, so it looks like February is going to be a really busy month. And so, yeah, I'm here. If anybody has any title questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to get on the phone with you, your clients, buyers, sellers, agents, lenders. So yeah, just let me know how I can be helpful. And super excited to hear about all these farming techniques to drum up business.
Well, thanks for being here, Kyle. I really appreciate it. And if you guys don't know this already, the coolest thing about Kyle, and I have agents tell me all the time, they're like, I've never even spoken to a title officer before. He is just so responsive and will actually, if you have questions on your prelim that I can't answer, he'll take your call, he'll talk to your sellers or your buyers, and he'll even, if you guys are not familiar with your rep or your title company, when it comes to maybe you have a prelim and you represent the buyer, we'll go ahead and take that prelim and give you some feedback on it and maybe what you need to be alerted about. So just a little heads up on that. So thank you, Kyle. The cool thing too is next workshop Wednesday, which is February 25th, Kyle is going to be doing a leading the way on our next workshop for and talking about title fraud. So if you guys have not been to that class, it is fantastic and very eye-opening. So would love to have you guys attend that as well. Okay, so that's a perfect setup for today. Actually, let me change the view here. Um, I have a question for you guys, and I want you to write it in the chat. So, what do you think? And it can be a one-word answer, that's fine. But what do you think has been holding you back from doing consistent farming? So, let me hear from you. Is it time? Is it money? Is it data? Is it fear? Is it not knowing who to target? Um, Sometimes I'll get, well, I want to do that farm, but another agent is in that farm. And let me tell you guys, I didn't really have this in my notes, but like if another agent is in that farm, don't let the fear of that control where you want to farm. Okay, that's not the best excuse. So just FYI. Okay, so finding time, what the cost is, pulling data, not knowing who to target, cost. Yes. Okay. Those are all great answers. And um, I guess every single answer is going to really tie back to clarity, right? Once you know who to target and what you're doing, it's going to change the game. So, what might work for you might not work for another agent. So, some of you have more time, some of you have more money, some of you have more of a budget to work with, but my goal as your title rep is to help you build a stronger and smarter business. So my goal today is not to overwhelm you, and I might just because we're going to go over a lot in a small amount of time, but it's really to identify what is going to work for you guys. So once you find what grabs your attention and what speaks to you, you and I can get together one on one and really refine and refocus, um, and think of a strategy together. So again, I'm going to go fast, so please take notes and then we can reconvene. Okay. Um, I also want to just remind you guys that education without action does not move the needle. So I know a lot of agents that they take classes after classes after classes, and they don't take action on what they're learning, which is never really going to grow your real estate business, right? So um, just take action, whatever you do. That's my goal for you today, is to pick one or two things and then commit to taking action. Okay. So when it comes to farming, there's your marathon and then your sprint, right? And a lot of traditional farming is a long term, like it's a long game, right? But it works. But I really recommend that you consider doing both. A lot of people don't do farming also just because it does take a while. And it does cost a little money, but it works, I promise. And consistent, whichever way you go, consistency is key. And I know we've all heard that, right? So if you're looking for a listing in the next 30 to 90 days, you're going to need to farm a little bit differently. So we're going to talk about the marathon and the sprint and some different ways to do that. So let's just transition a little bit. I'm going to share my screen here. Give me a second. Can everybody see my screen, my map? We're good to go? Okay. So we're going to start off with just some local smart farming. And I want to start by saying that when you're talking about a marathon and you're talking about farming, it's really the longevity of it, creating relationships and really becoming the neighborhood expert in that farm. So I want to focus really quickly on empty nesters. So when you, and I also want to preface by saying I'm just going to stick with Title Toolbox today. Many of you guys know that I have Title Toolbox and I also have Title Pro 247, and they each have their advantages. But today I just want to focus quickly on Title Toolbox and a few of the things that you can do. There's a lot of things you can do with this amazing program, but I'm just going to focus on a few things. So first is our empty nesters. So, for the sake of speediness, I'm just going to create a quick radius instead of a boundary. And you're probably going to want to create a boundary eventually because it's just a little bit more specific. Okay. So, I'm going to press get counts. Sorry, I need to get us out of the way here. I'm going to press download view records. Now, with the empty nesters, they are typically going to be 60 to 70 years of age. They've lived in the home for at least 30 years, and they have a minimum of 3 bedrooms. So most empty nesters are going to have equity in their house, right? So a common denominator for empty nesters is that they need to downsize. So one thing that you can also do, and I'm not going to do right this second, but I'll show you if you edit the search, you can also target those empty nesters that have a 2-story home. And obviously that's going to change your marketing approach up a little bit. Okay. So you can just go equal to 2, and that'll give you a whole different number. Okay. Again, I'm not going to do that right this second. But you would just go ahead and change the empty nester filter to on. and then get count. Now, your marketing approach with these empty nesters. So this is actually a good farm. So there's 154 empty nesters here. Um, your marketing approach is probably going to be with this age group more of an education than necessarily, selling. So it may be a topic you might want to talk about with them is Prop 19 and the tax benefits of Prop 19. I have flyers. I have that basically describe Prop 19 as well as the financial benefits. And then we also have a Prop 19 calculator on our website that I can share with you guys. So if you want that information, just text or email me and I'll get you that info. There's going to be a lot of things that I can give to you in regards to marketing and things like that. So just do me a favor and don't just text me or email me that you want that information. Okay. Don't put it in the chat because I may not see it later. Okay. I would also talk to them about the importance of putting their home in a trust if it's not already. So I do have some reasons and some ways to help you market this group for those type of subjects. Um, when you are educating them instead of selling them, you're really putting yourself in a position of being an advisor, which is going to build trust, right? So you're not just an agent, you're an advisor, which is a good relationship building technique with them. And I'd also like to point out that this is a really great group to do handwritten marketing, like handwritten cards and stuff like that. I know it's a little extra effort, but I think it would be worth it. Okay, any questions so far, you guys? Okay, cool. So, not every household is going to be downsizing, right? So, you can also focus on the young families that need to kind of update and upgrade their house because of children and they need more bedrooms, so they need more square footage. Now, that is actually a great farm that I would revert to Title Pro 247. And I'm not going to go over that today, but if you do want to focus on the young families, we can use Title Pro 247 and actually focus on the specific age group and put that age group in there. So let me know if you want to work on that. Okay. Um, Now let's shift to a group that moves a little faster, and that is your absentee owners. So the absentee owners, a lot of times, are going to be renting their home out, right? Well, the rental laws nowadays, and if you've been to some of my workshops that focus on property management and all that, you'll know that the rental laws nowadays really favor the tenants, and many landlords don't know all the details and the new laws. So, um, I do have a little marketing piece, really, and it's just a piece that you can steal some of the information that you can create your own postcard or flyer with. Um, Not a lot of people are really making that extra effort to do that. I would highly recommend doing that, you guys. Um, and also possibly getting with your property manager if you know one or two that you can get that information from. I know a couple great ones that I've actually had on my workshops. So if you want their information and you want to get a little bit more details about these rental laws, let me know and I'm happy to provide that to you. But this is just such a great way to I mean, honestly, if I had rental property in California, I would want to sell it because these rental laws are crazy. Okay. When you are pulling absentee owners in Title Pro 247. You're just going to, again, make the same radius or boundary, right? And then sorry, you guys, one second. And then you're going to go to custom filters. And you can actually choose either out of state or non-owner occupied. Now, the non-owner occupied is going to filter out of state and in state. So you can either use one or both. I personally think the out of state is a great option because there's really not a lot. And you can really focus your marketing a little bit better. Sorry, you guys. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so that's a great amount to target. There's only 36 properties in this one farm. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Let's move on. All right. So the final layer to this, a couple of things, and then we will end here. But we really need to focus, right? Sometimes on um where the sales are really happening the most. So there is this cool tab called statistics. So with the statistics tab, you can really focus on exactly where the turnover rate is the strongest. And you can do that with a city or a zip code. So I would go to area search, press continue. I'm already in Ventura County. I'm going to put in Camarillo. And you can leave it all here, or like I want to just focus, let's say, on just single families. So I'm going to get rid of all the townhouse and condos. I'm going to leave it on carrier route. You can also change it to property track if you want, but I think I get more results if I choose the carrier route. I'm going to do number of homes. I'm just going to do a minimum of 50. You can kind of play with this too, you guys, if you want, and choose more homes. The turnover rates, I would probably put a minimum of 4 in here. There are a lot of areas, surprisingly, that are like 2 and 3%. So I want a minimum of 4. I'm going to press search, and these are going to be your top selling areas in Camarillo. So again, if you guys want to do Oxnard, Ventura, really anywhere in California or LA County, we can go through this together. Okay, we move us a little bit. So you have 8%. Let me decrease this map a little bit. So this is our first area, which is 8%. So there are 100 homes here. The average sales price is 2.2 million. So 8 total of sales in the last 12 months. So let's say you want to focus on the 840,000 range, then you would just go to number 4, which is over there by the golf course here in Camarillo. But that's going to be a 4.5% turnover rate. There are 331 number of homes within this area and 15 total sales. So let's say you wanted to focus on this farm, you would just go to this and press select and it'll pull up that farm. Okay. All right. I am going to back up for a second. Now, let's say you're already working a farm and you want to know what the turnover rate is in that farm. Okay. So you can just do a little boundary search. I'm going to start over here. Let's say you have a farm in Camarillo Heights, and you're like, I'm really curious to know what the turnover rate is here. Sorry, guys. See? I'm going to press get count. Download view records. And then you're going to press dynamic stats. And that's going to give you the turnover rate and the number of homes sold just within that area. See what that one is. It usually just takes a minute. You guys have any questions? Such a quiet group today. Okay, so 3% turnover, average sales price 893. Obviously, this is quite a number of homes, so this is probably not a very good accurate turnover rate. 73 sales. It's you probably want to focus on like a 3 to 500 property farm. Okay. All right. The last thing that I'm going to show you guys is a brand new feature on Title Toolbox, which is definitely going to be more of your sprint and your low hanging fruit when it comes to farming. So that is this property leads alert. So it's going to take a 5 mile radius, whichever radius you choose. So I'm going to put in an address here just to be my center point. Okay. And it's going to show me there are 25,000 properties. And they're going to send you a daily email with all the life events that are within that area. So it just changed on me. But it's going to tell you on a daily basis if anybody has passed away within that area, if anybody has gotten a divorce, if there's any liens on the property, any NODs that have been recorded, bankruptcies, probate. It's going to give you that type of recording, the date it was recorded, any details about that event, the property address, and of course the owner's name and all of that. So there is a cost to it. It is $30 a month, but it is a really great feature. You could try it for a month. If it's not, the type of people that you want to focus on, then, obviously you can cancel at any time. But this is kind of a new, cool feature of Title Toolbox. Okay. Any
I have a
questions on that, you
question.
guys? Yes.
Yeah. So with that, if like a lead were to say, "Hey, how'd you like find out that information?" What would we tell them? Like, where is it pulling that information from?
To be honest with you, Tina, I would market it like I wouldn't go after like, oh yeah, not that you would do this, but I wouldn't market it like, oh, I heard you got a divorce or, somebody's passed in your house. I would just use this information as, you know, um, maybe you just want to, start really focusing on that specific property and just getting information to them that you're available, if that makes sense.
Okay, so it's not necessarily trying to tell you to like target that specific person for that reason, but it's like I'm just trying to understand it alerting us of these life events. How does that
Well,
like
because sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, if somebody, a lot of the times, right, if somebody's going to be passing or getting a divorce, or there's a lot of those are life events where or there's liens on the property where they can't afford to um pay their payment anymore, or there's an NOD filed, so they, can't afford that. So these are just more what's the word I'm looking for? Like they are just going they're most likely to sell is really, and obviously
Gotcha.
not in every case are they going to sell,
Right,
but
yeah.
yeah, they're
Okay.
just
Okay,
compared
awesome.
to compared to just targeting homes just randomly, it's a little bit more of a target market.
Gotcha. And then the source of where they pull this information, like different
This is
sources or
all the county. Yeah,
county.
this
Okay.
is all the county. So if you were to actually look up, like this is, can you guys see this? It says your daily leads alert. Can you see
Yes.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, so this is a sample of the actual email that you will get on a daily basis. So it'll tell you the address, what happened within that property, and then you could press detailed view. This is just a PDF, so I can't click on it, but you can click on the detailed view and it'll give you all that information. So again, um, there may be a way to tactfully market, but I wouldn't personally. I don't know if I would be like, oh yeah, I heard so and so passed. I'm so sorry about that. I would just use it as a way to just, make sure that your information is there and they know that you're available. So
Gotcha. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions with this? Okay. All right, you guys. If you have not signed up with Title Toolbox, please let me know and I will get you guys signed up again. Actually, let me stop my share. Again, um, this program will do a lot. It has an app as well. So if you have a lot of saved farms, you can also pull those forms right on your app on your phone, which is great if you're like at an open house or you just need detailed information on one specific property. It's a great tool for that as well. So, um, any other questions before we end? I know we're a few minutes past. So, any other questions?
Has
All
the
right,
app
you guys.
been
Yes.
update? Sorry.
Yeah.
um, has the app been updated or like I'm just trying to try to see if I have the right app. I just want to make sure.
If it's been a really long time, Tina, since you've been
Hmm.
on it, it
Yeah.
looks exactly like it says title toolbox on there, and it has a little blue house.
Oh, yes.
So
Okay.
if it's been a while since you've been on it, it has been updated. But what I would personally do is completely delete it and then re-add it to your phone.
Got it. Okay. I'll do that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Okay.
because if you have any problems logging in, that might be the issue. Okay,
Sure. Thank you.
you're welcome. Well, thanks you guys so much for being on today. If you, like I said, I know that this was a lot, but if there's something that you took from this and you're like, yeah, I want to know more, I want to know how I can market to these people. There's a lot of farming within a farm that you can do and really target market. So would love to help you guys with that. Would love to help you brainstorm and really, kick off 2026 with you guys. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And give me a call at your earliest convenience and we'll set up a little one-on-one.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thanks, you guys. Have a fantastic
Thank you,
day.
Brenda.
You
Bye.
too. Thank you.
Thank you.